What's going on, party peoples? We're back here in the DST show. Oh god, I think well my room broke, so at least nothing has really changed. We're gonna go into one of my biggest negatives over with the whole stigma of WWE. Why do we need a multi-day event for a show with a lack amount of stars? Either way, we'll just try to digest most NXT talent. Lackluster build that can last under 3 weeks and just have no star power, congested. What's the biggest thing that we have over in the show? Name me 5 big things that we've had in under a month before we head to WrestleMania come April 10th to 11th. McIntyre and Edge. I mean, no. Edge and Reigns. Nobody knows who Lashley's opponent is. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. That was over a span of 2 months. I mean, 2 to 3 months. Nothing has had any yearly amount of build. There's no legitimizing build other than possibly what's going to happen with Orton and The Fiend. This has been such a decline of any semblance, and WWE has now stigmatized what I was getting afraid of, and it was quantity over quality. You don't want to build up to the nicer moment to actually have a good digestment of a story ending or a big money match. Because we haven't had a big buy rate for a for a WrestleMania since Mania 28. The Rock and Cena match. The the one and should have been only one. 1.2 million buy rate. Even B pay-per-views get higher buy rates than WrestleMania currently. And the only ones that even beat over that milestone are completely either over a decade and a half old at this point. I'm just not understanding the value of this. Everybody's questioning if there's going to be fans in attendance. Yeah, that's also important. I'm just trying to understand what's going to make WrestleMania good. What's going to make me watch it other than fans being there? It's just the inexcusable amount of BS going into most of this, and I'm just not going to put over my energy to watch 2 Manias. I mean, that should sound like a nice thing, but nobody wants to watch the Super Bowl more than once. It's one game. That's what makes it special. Other than the World Series in the NBA Finals, those are 7 game series. There's the reason why these guys have to play more than one game. But Super Bowl, they can make an ass load of revenue out the Super Bowl than most of the playoffs before it. And over that stigmatizing trauma of absolute horse water. Oh God, we had Gronkowski, Cena showing up. We're barely gonna have Cena. There's barely any stuff built up for the mid card. The tag division's completely overshambled with mishmatch single stars, with no storylines intertwined in most of it, other than the New Day want the tag team titles back. I'm just not finding anything interesting, guys. We are about nearly a, a month until we head to Mania, and I felt like we have done nothing over most of this other than what happened at the Rumble. And they want to make this 2 days? I guess the short line making a Mania 5 hours, but you know you can make a show short and still make it good, right? I don't understand. Because I know this is just a build that they can do over for their big show, and then they forget they have another calendar year in their hand. I I just don't get it. It's not that difficult to make one decent show in one show. I don't understand. I thought WrestleMania 36 was boring. because I thought it had too many matches. It dragged over. No, it dragged. Most of the matches either dragged or had barely any impact. There was barely that much of a plot to even watch the show. There was way too many mid carders over it. Like they had the NXT title on the line at a WrestleMania. Why? Just so they don't have so they can feel like it didn't elevate the championship because guess what? It's still defended on NXT. It didn't elevate the viewership for NXT other than 1 week, and it didn't build over to Rhea Ripley until now. She's coming over to the main roster. I don't know what was the benefit of this. I want to feel like I want to understand what makes Mania 37 going to stand out if it's going to be the same look, the basis of one match, very little star power even in the mid card size, and just no stories. I'm, oh my god. At least we're not going to be in the performance center. You could have tried to at least make an interesting little setup involving a pirate ship or something in the Thunderdome or whatever. I'm just not that compelled. Because if they're doing this, and it's been like this over the last over a decade and a half, I mean half a decade, that we haven't had any average built-up WrestleMania that I felt like, oh my god, all these matches I've been waiting for a couple months or at least a year or more that I'm ready for this. And this has been a problem. Most fans will get exhausted when they watch one show of Mania, and then they have to watch another one. And plus, it lessens the specialty of WrestleMania. That lessens what makes Mania special. Nobody's understanding why they shouldn't do 2-day events. Wrestle Kingdom, that's just more the work rate. No one watches Wrestle Kingdom anyway, other than if you're a New Japan fan. At least people outside of the United States know what WWE is, and they're probably going to watch it. And most will be like, why have a day two? What else is big? That means they're possibly going to have the Universal title defended on the first night. I mean, at the second night, and whoever's facing Drew Lashley for the world title in the second night. It devalues the championship. It devalues either some of the guys, and it doesn't feel like anything's going to end well, depending if the show ends a certain way. So I just don't. I just disagree with this whole sentiment of having Mania for 2 days. And plus, it's just going to be exhausting to review too, unless you do it at once, and that's going to require work. It's so agitating. But that's just my opinion. You guys feel differently and enjoy the concept of 2-day manias. Uh, that's your opinion, and I have nothing to do but respect it. It's your choice. But to me, I just feel like this is a dumb idea. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. That's it. Over from the DST show. Thanks, and that's it for me.